This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, January 10th, 2022. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. With a fervent eye on Omicron and the surging number of coronavirus cases, the Supreme Court struggled with whether the Biden administration can try to slow the virus through a set of workplace vaccine mandates. Stephen Dinan and Ryan Lovelace report the court's GOP-appointed majority seems skeptical of the breadth of the mandate from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. That mandate covers every company with more than 100 employees, requiring they demand vaccine compliance or compel mask wearing and weekly testing. The justices have been grappling with COVID-related cases since virtually the first days of the pandemic, as states rushed to impose shutdown orders, though many of those dealt with weighty but narrow matters such as whether state and local officials could shut down in-person religious services. Justices are racing toward a deadline for the initial implementation of the mandate and must decide whether to issue a delay to let the case develop in the courts. Businesses and GOP-led states opposing the mandate said they don't question the value of vaccines, but said the justices aren't sorting out medical policy, but rather who has the power to carry it out. Analysts say many small businesses, including restaurants, auto shops, and healthcare clinics, will struggle this year in an economy racked by inflation, supply chain problems, and excess consumer demand. The percentage of business owners expecting better economic conditions in the next 6 months decreased 1 point to a net negative 38% in November. That tied a 48-year record low in Optimism, according to the National Federation of Independent Businesses Small Business Optimism Index. Sean Salai reports the survey represented an 18-point decline over the previous 4 months and the lowest level since November of 2012. Meanwhile, the net percentage of owners increasing selling prices rose 6 points to a seasonally adjusted 59%. That's the highest level in the monthly index since October 1979. About 54% of owners said they planned additional price hikes, an increase of 3 points from October and a 48-year record high for the NFIB survey. Several Democratic-run states and cities are giving preference to non-white patients for receiving potentially life-saving treatments for COVID-19. Dave Boyer reports Minnesota and New York City are among the jurisdictions where health officials are giving priority to people of color for scarce monoclonal antibodies, which can prevent COVID-19 patients from developing severe illness. In Minnesota, the state health department is using a scoring system that awards points to patients with certain risk factors. The department's scoring also gives 2 points to people who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color. White people who have the same risk factors are not given the same priority ranking for the antibody treatments as non-whites. Legal analysts say the approach likely wouldn't stand up in court. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. If you don't have access to the Times yet, you can visit WashingtonTimes.com/George for a special subscription offer. At a ceremony later this month, Commander Billy Farrell will become the 77th captain of the USS Constitution, effectively known as Old Ironsides, the world's oldest naval ship in active service. Mike Glenn reports Farrell will be the first woman to command the vessel in the ship's history, dating back to 1797. The Constitution got its nickname because of its virtually impregnable hull while in service during the First Barbary War, the War of 1812, and as a training ship for Union forces during the Civil War. Farrell learned of the opportunity to command the Constitution after being notified she'd been selected for future command of a warship. The Constitution, retired from active service 141 years ago and docked in Boston, still serves officially as a museum designed to promote awareness of the Navy's mission and participate in public events. And finally, an update to the Bible translation used by many mainline Protestant churches has stirred accusations over how an ancient Greek word is translated. Mark Kellner reports the 2021 update of the New Revised Standard Bible translates a Greek word in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9, and 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 10, as men who engage in illicit sex. That's a change from the 30-year-old NRSV's translation of sodomites. The NRSV updated edition appeared in digital form last month. Printed versions are expected from a range of Protestant and Roman Catholic publishers in May. The updated NRSV is the product of the National Council of Churches, which last revised the text in 1989. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us in all of your favorite podcast platforms just by searching Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.